Hello, happy Thanksgiving week. It is a Josh Allen Tuesday here on Kyle Brandt's basement. This isn't my actual basement. This is not some studio in New York City or LA somewhere. The garage is on that side of the wall. My bar is on that side of the wall. I'm in this tiny little 12 by 8 room hanging out with you guys. Josh is coming up shortly. He's in the green room as always. I think he's playing Xbox right now and eating some beef jerky. That's what he likes to do when he hangs out. We're going to talk about everything. Last week's biggest story of the year in the NFL, least biggest story of this week for sure. The snowfall in Buffalo, the adventures he got in. How did he get out? He went to Detroit, came back, and has to go back to Detroit again. They beat the Browns in the meantime. Now they have to beat a Lions team that normally you show up on Thanksgiving and just slap the Lions around. The Lions are good. The Lions win. The Lions won 3 in a row, and they play the Bills this week, and we'll talk all about that. We'll see if he watched Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, which we assigned to him in the Josh Allen Film Festival before we even knew about the snowfall coming to Buffalo. It was fortuitous. Del Griffith, Neil Page. Those aren't pillows. We'll get into all that. Lots to talk about with Josh. Thanksgiving, food, football. It's all about him. It's all about Kyle Brandt's basement. He's coming up shortly. But first, let's go to the Sky Cam. Because you know what? We're going to start the show conventionally. I'm just going to settle in right here and do that little thing. And yes, sir! I feel good. I'm going to grab some darts. I feel like just messing around today. It's my basement. I can do whatever the hell I want. I made the shot. Thank you, Ben Wallace. Let's go back to this cam and let's start with what I love, what I hate, and what's hilarious. On we go. Did you see the Niners just kick the crap out of the Arizona Cardinals on Monday Night Football in Mexico? That was great. There was so many things to like about it. The ambiance, the atmosphere, the elevation, the Niners themselves. Troy Aikman in the fourth quarter just straight up going on a monologue of how the Cardinals had quit. Jason McCourty in Good Morning Football picking that up this morning across the table from me. That was really something. There was a point in the game where you could actually see, if you looked really closely, you could see the Cardinals on their phones trying to check in for their flight back to Arizona. I promise you could look. You had to look really closely. That last Kittle touchdown, he catches on the sideline, and Kittle's a huge pain in the ass to tackle. No one wants to do it, and so no one did. They just kind of let him go. McCourty was like, oh, those guys are down 38-10. They're in some foreign country and in some elevation. They want to want the hell out of there. Business decision. It was pretty cool to watch. Also, we were talking this morning about the NFC, and it's so strange because the AFC is just loaded, as we know, and the NFC is like, I don't know, a few good teams, but Kittle used the word scary to describe where the Niners are right now, and I can't get away from that word. They are scary. I don't think they're an outstanding team, but they're a scary team. Scary in the sense that, like, when the playoff seedings come, and I think they'll be there, and whether they shake out to be in the wild card or they have to play home or have to play away, we don't know. But when those seedings drop after 18 weeks and 17 games of football, and you see as a fan, or certainly as a player, you see SF across from your team, you just say, crap. Why do we have to play the Niners? Why can't we play Daniel Jones or Geno or maybe even the Bucks and Brady for that matter? I do not want to play the Niners. I just don't. It's just the way they've got the thing going on with their defense and their running game. It's just, there may be better teams. There aren't really scarier teams in the NFC. If you just look at the standings right now, the Eagles are legit. Are you scared of the Cowboys? Genuinely, like, oh no, we don't play the Mike McCarthy Cowboys. Not yet. Giants, no. Commanders, I love the Commanders. Not scared of them. Obviously, we don't talk about the Vikings this week. I grounded them there in their room. I don't acknowledge them until they come out and learn to behave better. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I get the Brady factor, but I'm not scared of the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers are 5-6. The Seahawks I'm not scared of. That's it. It's the Niners. You want to do that? You want to have them open up with McCaffrey and then go to their other guys and drop Debo on you when you're not expecting? Then you got to tackle Kittle, and then you got to turn around and go against Bosa and Warren. It just sucks. They're so physical, and there are teams that are fantastic, and they're beautiful, and they're highlight-laden, but just that stupid physicality that you have to go up against, maybe in a cold weather situation like the Packers did last year. What it is it's so perfect, is that the Niners really embody a pro wrestling team. That's what they feel like. And they talk about it a lot, and if you saw Kittle in the luchador mask last night, and he's constantly talking about wrestling, and he loves The Rock, and he loves Stone Cold, but they all feel that way. They feel like actual pro wrestlers in some sort of giant Royal Rumble if all the pro wrestlers in the Royal Rumble were on the same side. It's as if you come out of the curtain and there's 53 guys in the ring and you and your guys have to get in that ring and go after them. It's the personality, the experience, the toughness, the fight through injuries. They have that whole thing going. I've even gone so far as to cast it. So McCaffrey, I think in this pro wrestling San Francisco 49ers comparison, I think McCaffrey is Shawn Michaels, but I think he's young Shawn Michaels. He's not doing the full heartbreak kid. I think I'm sexy. I got the moves. I think it is more like rockers Shawn Michaels. Like, he does have the look. Super talented off the top rope. Joining this new tag team. I think he is young Shawn Michaels before he broke Marty Jannetty's face and kicked him through the glass. I think that's McCaffrey. Kittle himself, I know Kittle loves Stone Cold. I know he loves The Rock. I think he's got the Hulk Hogan thing. He's just larger than life. He's loud. He plays to the crowd. All-American, you know, a guy played at Iowa. You can see him talking about the vitamins and the prayers and all that stuff. I think that Kittle is Hogan. Jimmy Garoppolo is Rick the Model Martel. Just he doesn't talk like the Model Martel, but man, does he look like it. If he would wear a cologne, a fragrant, a scent, it would be arrogance. Funny moment last night that we're making the memes and that was pointed out by ESPN where Jimmy Garoppolo walks in. He's got some sort of suit. I don't know what the hell color it is. Rouge or something, or like blush. Just this gorgeous screw you, I'm hot suit. And then they cut, and the next person who walks in is Colt McCoy, who looks like he got his shirt at a Bass Pro Shop and is wearing this giant lanyard around his neck. Colt's a great guy. Love him. Great quarterback. Tough act to follow. Walking in after Jimmy Garoppolo is like dunking after Vince Carter in the dunk contest. Like, what am I supposed to do? But Rick the Model Martel, Jimmy Garoppolo. Kyle Juszczyk, the fullback. I think it was Blaze and KC on Twitter who said he's Jim the Anvil Neidhart. Totally appreciated, intense, really good. Never going to be the star. That would be Brett. But Kyle Juszczyk, Jim the Anvil Neidhart. I had a lot of trouble with Debo because Debo has this explosive skill set. And you could certainly assign him to any pro wrestlers. But Debo doesn't have, I don't know, he's not this crazy, outlandish personality in the media or on the field. Like someone was trying to say, oh, he's the Ultimate Warrior. The Ultimate Warrior, that is one of one. There's nobody who's like that. That guy would scream about things you couldn't even imagine in his stand-ups. I don't think that's Debo. So we got a tweet. What was the tweet? Who was this tweet from? Bring up the tweet who suggested this for me. Rocky Kimple says, Debo is Rey Mysterio, high-flying and electric. I like that. And then he doubled down, Rocky Kimple, and he said, Bosa, who I haven't even gotten, Nick Bosa, is Goldberg with the patented spear you get to get after the quarterback. Rocky Kimple, incidentally, I don't know you, I'm not familiar with you, but I got a research note from my producer who screened this tweet who says that Rocky Kimple, is this true, has 108 followers, and one of them is Barack Obama. What is that about? Rocky, you man of mystery, whoever you are tweeting the show with your Rey Mysterio takes, that tweet potentially was seen by the former president. All right, then after that, I got to finish this. Shanahan, I had a thought on Shanahan. So I was starting to think Shanahan would be a manager, okay? But he's not the mouth of the South. Shanahan is not that personality. He's not Bobby Heenan. And then you guys started tweeting things. You were just naming managers. The one that I like, I got a tweet that he's Mr. Fuji. Mr. Fuji, may he rest in peace in the WWE Hall of Fame. Just a little bit more quiet, a little bit more reserved, but just locked in as he's managing Demolition or whoever that is. Also got some Eric Bischoff suggestions. And I guess that would make John Lynch Vince McMahon. Or maybe that would be Jed York. Kind of like maybe an amalgam between the two of them being Vince McMahon running the entire show. Point is, you want to step into that ring? Do you want to step into the ring next week, in January, in Mexico, in the United States, in WrestleMania against Hulk Hogan, Shawn Michaels, The Anvil, Rey Mysterio, Rick the Model Martel? That's the 49ers right there. And knowing Kittle, he'll probably see this, and he'll be like, dude, no, bro, I'm Triple H. Like, he'll have a whole take on it. And Kittle, I love you. I got you as the Hulkster. Probably the most famous wrestler of all time. I don't have a Nature Boy on your team yet, so maybe you can tell me one. And I also didn't assign one for Trent Williams. Trent Williams would probably be The Undertaker, right? Like just the biggest, scariest dude around, and he's been around forever, and people still want to mess with him. I think I'll add that one, and Trent Williams, The Undertaker. But the 49ers, the WWE team, scariest team in the NFC. I don't think they're better than the Eagles, but they might be scarier. Would you rather take a shot on the Eagles, who are just so hot and have a better record and a lot of great players? Would you rather take a shot on them than the Niners? It's interesting. Scariest team in the NFL. Never mind the NFC. The NFL right now, San Francisco 49ers. That's what I love. Let's get to what I hate over in the AFC. All right, I'm going to talk about the Jets, but I'm going to give you a little reprieve from the Zach Wilson annihilation week, at least for right now. And I'm sure you could use one. You know, it's a big anniversary today. November 22nd, 2012, which is exactly 10 years ago today, the Butt Fumble, TM. The Butt Fumble happened exactly 10 years ago. There's a really, really good article written out in The Ringer from Danny Heifetz about 10 years later and how it's more than just the funny memory from 10 years ago, that it still casts a shadow, not only over NFL fans and social media, but really over the Jets. And in a way, I hate that that's the case. I really do, because the Butt Fumble is a stupid play, a silly, ridiculous play that happened 10 years ago, and none of the players were on the team now were there, none of the coaches, really none of anything. It shouldn't have anything to do with people like Quinnen Williams and Sauce and Zach Wilson and Robert Saleh, and yet it still does, because that is what you think of when you know the Butt Fumble. The Butt Fumble's problem is that it was so big and it's still so permanent and so relevant that it's one of the things people come up with when they talk about the Jets. There's not a lot of history. You talk about, oh, New York Jets, get into what they're all about. About 50 years ago, Joe Namath predicted that the Jets would win the Super Bowl, and they did, and he went like that as he ran off the field. And then Mark Sanchez ran into his own offensive lineman's butt and fumbled the ball, and the Patriots recovered it. Like, what am I missing there in terms of real moments that you forget, that you will never forget, in images? Like, my mom knows what the Butt Fumble is. My sister, younger sister, who only follows the Bears in Chicago, she knows what the Butt Fumble is. And I wish fewer people did. I wish we could talk about the Jets right now more and be like, oh man, they're erasing all that stuff. You'll never remember that. That's a stupid memory from before. But it is a fascinating deep dive. Do you remember, some of you will, when it happened in 2012, SportsCenter, which certainly had a different place in the sports media landscape than it does now, years later, they would do their not top 10. And the article in The Ringer covers this. They would do the not top 10. It was the 10 worst plays of the week. It was kind of like Come On Man, but stretched over 10 plays. And it was serialized in the sense that it would continue week to week, and there was whatever the number one worst play was, it would get voted on, and it would go to next week and go to next week, and until someone came up with a worst play, it would just stay there. And the Butt Fumble stayed there for 40 weeks. 40 weeks. And I remember watching it because I was working in radio at the time. We would have SportsCenter on silent. And not top 10 would come up, and you get down to 3 and 2, and then here it is, Butt Fumble. And this is months later after that. And I remember finally that someone made the decision on ESPN. They said, we're going to end it. It doesn't matter who they vote for, because they would still be voting for that thing today, 10 years later. They said, no, we're going to do a special package. We're going to put together this look back on the Butt Fumble, and then we're ending it. No more Butt Fumble. They just took control of it. They took control of something that had been taken over by the fans voting. It was kind of like when American Idol decided, no, Sanjaya is not going to win American Idol. I don't care how many people vote for him. Howard Stern was telling everyone to vote for Sanjaya. He is not going to win this thing. And they rigged it, in my opinion. But I still think that the Butt Fumble would be up there. And I wish there would be something that some other crappy team that would do that would be worse than that would take the place of that. And it just hasn't worked. It hasn't happened. Very specific circumstances led to that infamy. Thanksgiving night, the only game on. This was pre-streaming, so there were much fewer options. And the Jets were a huge deal. This is coming off, they'd already been to the 2 title games with Sanchez. But Rex Ryan was a very, very big deal at the time. In a lot of media, a lot of headlines, he would be talked about constantly. He's a big part of the NFL conversation. You know, Mark Sanchez was a lightning rod in a lot of senses. The Sanchez. They was looked at as Vinny Chase from Entourage, which was also big at the time. And he was USC, and people rooting against him. Not only USC, but Jets. There's a lot of animosity towards those things and that full thing. And then he was going up against the Belichick machine. One thing I didn't know about that. So it's a 1st and 10. They're down 14-0 to the Patriots. And again, Thanksgiving night. And on the play, it looks like Sanchez turns the wrong way on a handoff. It looks like he messes up. So then he tries to run to the hole, which is, I guess, what you're supposed to do. If you mess something up, run where they're blocking already. He slips. His face goes right into Brandon Moore's butt, fumbles it. Steve Gregory of the Patriots picks it up and runs it back. It's 21-0. Here's what I did not know, or I said did not remember. So they go down 21-0. The Patriots kick off. On the ensuing kickoff, after the butt fumble, the Jets kick returner is hit. The ball goes up in the air, and it's caught by Julian Edelman and run for a touchdown. On the next play, they fumble the kickoff, and Edelman, playing special teams at the time, runs in for a touchdown, 28-0. I didn't know that happened. It was the next play. So they let up 3 touchdowns in 56 seconds to the Patriots, and this article points out that it was the end of the era. You knew it was over. It was done. After that season, they finished 6 and 10. Again, 2 title games, really successful run. The best Jets run since Namath. After that season, Mike Tannenbaum was gone. The next year, Mark Sanchez was gone. The year after that, Rex Ryan was gone. Poof, it's all over, done. This whole thing where we're going to beat the Patriots and we're not going to kiss his rings. The Jets are cool. The Jets are maybe the biggest story in the NFL for a couple of years. Gone. And you knew it. And you knew when that butt fumble happened that the Mark Sanchez thing was over. And it's like you knew the Sam Darnold thing was not going to work out when he's out playing the Patriots again and says, I feel like I'm seeing ghosts out there. And then you wonder if maybe the Zach Wilson thing is over now too. It could be. Because of how he played again against the Patriots. And what he said afterwards. And now we're sitting here in limbo with a huge Jets-Bears game this weekend out of nowhere. And since the butt fumble, how about this? Since the butt fumble, Jets fans were throwing up saying, stop talking about the butt fumble. It's years ago. I agree. But you've been terrible since then. It still casts a pall over everything. And I'll give you the statistics. Since the butt fumble in 10 years, they have the fewest points in the NFL. They're tied for the most turnovers. They're the only team in the NFL who has not made the playoffs. And against the Patriots since the butt fumble, the Jets are 2-18 since Mark Sanchez's face mask hit Brandon Moore's butt cheek and dropped the ball. It's a fascinating look back, isn't it? It's one of these crazy, infamous events that if it just stood on its own and it's something like Mike Tyson biting off Evander's ear or the fan man landing in the ring or just one of these crazy events, it'd be fine. But it's not isolated. They've been terrible since then. And it's this stupid thing that haunts them. I don't think Zach Wilson's throwing interceptions or throwing would-be interceptions because of the butt fumble, but their presence, their brand, their aura, their reputation in the media, it still stinks from that thing. And now Mark Sanchez is part of the media. We had him on Good Morning Football during Super Bowl week, and there was some pre-production going on. We'd never had him on before, and we were looking back on his career, and I think there was a conversation about, do we ask him the butt fumble question? Because we asked him about eating the hot dog on the sideline, and he was not thrilled about talking about that. He gave the answer and everything was fine, but I don't think it was his favorite question. And we did not ask the butt fumble question. And I thought it was the right move. And I endorsed not asking it because what the hell is he going to say? Tom Brady said that recently, earlier this year, that he remembers when he saw the replay for the first time of the butt fumble, a game that he was in. When he saw it later, I think he said when he was home or in his hotel room, he said, I laughed for like 20 straight seconds. It was like one of the funniest things I'd ever seen. Brady can say that. Maybe an insufferable quote again if you're a Jets fan, but Brady won and he dominated the Jets. So I wish that play would go away. It never will. Most importantly, I wish the Jets would do something to make that play go away. And I think what that something is, they have to win a playoff game. I do. I think even if they just win a wild card game and they're back and they're new and they have a quarterback, maybe that's it. Maybe it's not even the playoff. Maybe it's just having a quarterback who they know is going to be their guy. Justin Herbert has not won a playoff game. Doesn't look like he will anytime soon. But he's the Chargers guy. You know that. They got their guy. Before the Bills won a playoff game with Allen, you knew they had their guy. It was just, the Jets need to have their guy, and I don't know if they do. I know Rex Ryan was talking this week about stop comparing Zach Wilson to Mark Sanchez. Mark Sanchez was way better than Zach Wilson. He was. I'll tell you something else. I think Darnold was better than Zach Wilson. Darnold struggled a lot, for sure. He made some good throws, did some things here and there. Zach Wilson's done very, very, very little. I got a good buddy of mine who thinks that he's going to get benched based on Saleh saying we're not deciding yet, everything's on the table. He says, oh, he's benching him. If he was going to start Wilson, you come out and just say it. You get his confidence up. We're behind you. We're still with you. What's the point in saying everything's on the table if you're only going to start the same guy ever again? Why not? I tend to agree with him. People will be blown away to start Mike White, but did you watch Zach Wilson? Maybe you shouldn't be. That's what I hate. What's hilarious is going to come from the Dallas Cowboys in the wonderful world of social media, and let's just have a little vacation in a cool player having fun in a time when sometimes people don't. Thanksgiving week. Let's get into what's hilarious. So if you were to do just a quick survey of the 5 best players in football at any position, call it pound for pound, call it whatever you want, I think Micah Parsons is a top 5 NFL player right now. I don't even need to give you the rest of the list. Who cares? Doesn't really matter. It's not the point of this. He's fantastic. And so he's going to be around. He's in the right place. He plays the right position, pass rusher, and he's got the right ability. What's the personality like? Are we going to be watching Micah Parsons, you and I, for the next 12 years as a Dallas Cowboy? If so, we're going to spend a lot of time watching him. He's going to be on national TV a lot, including this Thursday. We're going to see him a lot. A lot of people are going to talk about him. He's going to be a friend of ours in a sense. So does he have the personality? Does he have some color to what he says or what he's interested into? Because hopefully there's nothing worse than a guy you're going to spend 12 years watching. It's like, oh my God, this guy's boring. I can name names if you want. I won't. It's disrespectful. But Micah Parsons, he has the personality. And he decided, because he was bored or because he just had to get some things off his chest, to go on a little bit of a Twitter diatribe in something that was not toxic or targeting anyone or lashing back at the media, just relatable stuff from the superstar Cowboys pass rusher. Let's see how this thing starts. This is Micah Parsons. Here we go. Micah Parsons says, out of nowhere, my barber upped his house call price to $200. I might grow an afro now. So out of nowhere, he's complaining about $200. So this is interesting because it's a quick trigger usually. Anytime a professional athlete of any caliber starts to complain about money, it goes badly with the fans because, the athletes make so much money and many of the fans aren't able to, and so they get mad about that. Oh, if I had your contract, I wouldn't care about paying him. All right, hold on. So then the next guy comes in and says, my barber, this is replying to Micah Parsons, my barber has a $225 house call price, and I'm not a millionaire. Perfect. Pay that man, Micah. So Micah retweets it and says, responding to $225, that's a pair of Jordans, bro. I had to cut 5 lawns before I made that. So my first question is this. What's with the house calls? If you don't want to pay that much, can't you just drive to the barbershop and get an appointment? For Micah, for sure. Maybe he doesn't want to go to the barbershop because he's really famous and he just likes the privacy of his home, which I get, but then you got to pay for it, dude. But then this guy who replies, Texas Ace 80, says he as a barber has a $225 house call price. I'm sure there's many quality barbershops in the Texas area. I don't understand that. I go to a barbershop a couple blocks from here. I pay $30. And if I had to pay $200 to come in, I guess it's convenient and you maybe like having it done right in your house and they cut you right and they'll sweep it up. I don't understand. Sure, the privacy, and it's a luxury to have an in-house haircut like an in-house massage or anything, but the second it becomes, he's pissed about the price. So dude, Micah, go in. In fact, a lot of the players, they get their haircuts at the facility. It's just for free. They'll have a barbershop in the locker room or a guy who cuts hair once a week. I know, for example, I've seen the Bears barbershop before. I've been in their facility. They got a guy. Come in, line you up, no problem, done, on the house. Maybe you tip him out or something, but not $225. So Micah Micah comes from not a lot, it sounds like, and he's going to get into that more. Next tweet, mad about the haircuts, $225. All right, so now he says I'm going to grow out an afro, and now he's cooking. This is when you get the tweets get long because he starts getting emotional. No one is at home wondering how I look under my helmet. And also value, I grew up on 10 to 20 haircuts. $10 to $20, I think. I came from nothing, man. I still value on what it took me to get here. I ain't never pay for nothing more than I used to pay. That's just the real in me. So this is the brush back to, don't come at me and say I'm a millionaire and I'm a superstar athlete. I come from nothing. I still have the same values. I don't want to pay more than I used to pay. I could have $1 billion and I still want to pay 10 to 20 bucks for a haircut. That's the real in me. And I like this. This is, you know, we laugh about the athletes being real people and relatable and they want cheap haircuts like the rest of us do, but there's actually a very heavy subtext to this about athletes and money and losing their money, and you would not believe the statistics that are out there about how many athletes, NFL players, are broke after their careers. We had Nakobe Dean on from the Eagles of Good Morning Football today, and we were like, what have you learned your rookie year? You know, tell us anything. And he says, actually, I've learned a lot about taxes. They really take a lot of your money. So I was like, that's good. I think that's more important than how to pack a travel bag or even maybe how to block or beat a block. I like that. But Micah's now in his emotions, and I like it. It's all very constructive and positive. Then he keeps going. This is one guy, one day. All right. Now it gets funny. Man, I don't even order $6 Cokes at a restaurant. Ask any of my closest friends. I've always been cheap as hell. It ain't about the money at all, or never will it be. I've always been about the principle. If you didn't value something when you didn't have it then why now? So now he's just going on the soapbox. But he's like, I'm out on the $6 Cokes. The $6 Coke is interesting. So I don't even mind personally. $6 a lot for a Coke. Like, does that have any Jack Daniels in it? Like, that's like the $5 milkshake in Pulp Fiction. You don't want to put bourbon in it or nothing? If you get an iced tea or a Coke at, let's say, at a diner or even like a regular restaurant, like where you can get a steak, $6 is a lot. But is there unlimited refills? Because have you ever been to a place where you drink 3 Diet Cokes at $5 per, and then you get down to the itemized receipt and it says 5 times 3, 15 for the Cokes, the Diet Cokes? That's total BS. That's dirty pool, unless they're explicitly telling you I have to charge you for more, because sometimes they'll be like, sir, another Diet Coke, instead of just refilling it, and you're like, yeah, of course I want another Diet Coke. Whoa, 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 whoa. That tone you just hit me with says I'm going to pay for it. And then guess who tunes in? Or guess who chimes in? Orlovsky's following this rant about the $6 Cokes, Dan Orlovsky, and he goes, I feel seen. Micah responds to that, please tell me this is a lie. I told multiple waiters to take it back. So let me bring you to a place in which Dallas Cowboys superstar Micah Parsons is at the diner or the Cheesecake Factory or the Macaroni Grill or wherever he eats, and he gets a Coke, maybe gets one $6 Coke, and then he finishes it quickly. He's a big man, needs a lot of calories. Then they bring another one, and he says, sir, excuse me, sir? And they're like, oh my God, yes, it's Micah Parsons. Take this back. What do you mean, sir? Take this Coke off the table. I am not paying $6 for it. And the guy's probably thinking, oh man, this tip is going to be so crappy. You won't even pay for the $6 Coke. And that's fine. Maybe it will be. But multiple times he has told waiters to take it back. See, that's just good. That's really good, relatable stuff. Kills me on the free refills and not free refills. My family goes to diners a lot, and my kids are starting to go through beverages. And sometimes we just get slammed with the refill stuff. But Micah Parsons, listen, he says, I'm the guy. This is where I come from. Now, this is the 12th overall pick. So he got a bunch of money up front, and he got a really nice signing bonus. But he's not on a second contract. He's still trying to say, like, I don't know if there's going to be a second contract. Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. All right, he went to, let's see, Harrisburg High School, where he started at both defensive end and running back. And listen, he says, if I didn't care about that stuff then, why would I care about it now? I love it. I love it. Nate Burleson used to talk about the rookie starter kit when a guy would come in the league, and he would say things like, okay, so you get this crazy car and you get a house and then you decide to get some jewelry, and next thing you know, like, you have no money left, and it's the rookie starter kit and it's so basic. Never mind the car and the house and the jewelry. Micah Parsons won't even buy a $6 Coke. I love that about him. I find it enlightening, in its own way, constructively hilarious. Micah, wherever you are, I've met you before. We met at the NFL Honors. You were great. But next time I see you, $6 Coke on me. I promise you. I got you. Let's go to another guy who knows all about life in the NFL. It's time. Are you ready? You've waited. You've anticipated, and now we deliver. Ladies and gentlemen, rejoining us here in Kyle Brandt's basement, it's our guy, Josh Allen. Starting your own small business can be a total roller coaster. Between all the bumpy twists and turns comes the actual business side of your business, which can really throw you for a loop. Luckily, with QuickBooks, you can manage your business with confidence from the start. So no matter how bumpy the ride gets, you can always stay on track. New business? No problem. Success starts with Intuit QuickBooks. Learn more at QuickBooks.com. Yeah, you love to see it. Coming to us from the Hoth system where he lives, it's our guy, Josh Allen. What's up, dude?
Just hanging out, man. It's been a long few days. Coming up on a short week here, but always excited to be on the basement.
I'm always excited to have you, especially a week like this. We have so much to unpack. Let's get right to it. I'm just going to cut to the chase. Josh, you're a first-round draft pick. What would be your first-round draft pick of all the Thanksgiving foods to have on your plate?
I'm going to take, and this might be controversial, but mashed potatoes and gravy. It comes together, right? It's a 2-for-1 pick. Mashed potatoes and gravy. It's undefeated. When you get with the bread, and I'm a stuffing guy. I freaking love Thanksgiving.
Do you take the ladle and like make a reservoir for the gravy? What's your technique?
Absolutely. I mean, again, you make the little reservoir, and then you're dumping the gravy over all the turkey, all the stuffing. And I'm not like a cranberry jam, or I don't even know what's called.
Okay.
I think it's cranberry jam, right? Raspberry jam. I don't know.
Cranberry sauce.
Just
cranberry,
give me
stuff.
Turkey, mashed potatoes and gravy, stuffing, and like the Hawaiian sweet rolls, and that's fill me up.
See, that's so interesting because I think like everyone, depending on where their region they're from or just how they grew up, I think everyone has something that's unique or maybe even weird. Like, what was it growing up for you? Like, what was on Joel and Levon's Thanksgiving table in Firebaugh that like maybe other people don't have on their table?
I'm thinking. I mean, I thought we were pretty traditional in the sense of, you have the ham, turkey, the gravy. Again, like where I'm from.
You do ham and turkey.
Yeah. Is that weird?
Okay. I think it's unconventional, yeah. But I'm a ham guy. Okay. We're almost totally done with turkey. But listen, you guys, you're on a farm. Like, you know more about food. So you do both?
Yeah. We've always done both. And again, I'm not the biggest ham guy. Like, I prefer the turkey over the ham. But we always had it. I'm just trying to think of anything that was my grandma always made her okie cake for us for dessert.
What is that?
Which I don't even know how to describe it. It's heaven in a chocolate cake. It's special. It's something I miss deeply because obviously I don't get to go home that often for Thanksgiving or Christmas, and every time I do go home, though, she tries to make it for me and allow me to experience that all over again. It's the best.
See, this is where we live. And I know Josh could talk about okie cake and ham and mashed potatoes for 3 hours, and someday we will. Get the okie cake when you can. I know you don't get to spend a lot of Thanksgivings at home. Take me back, before we go to this next Thursday for Thanksgiving, take me back to last Friday night, living in Western New York, when the snow came and the storm came Friday night into Saturday morning. What was that like for you at home?
Yeah, I mean, again, we didn't get to leave the house much. You look outside and it just seems like it's just stacking on, and the garages, when you open them, I mean, it's up to your chest. My truck's still buried. I'm digging out so Sky can go to the bathroom in the backyard. I mean, it was crazy. And again, a lot of people lost power. The lights here just kept flickering on and off. The breakers would trip it seemed like every hour I was coming down to the basement and flipping it on. So it was interesting to say the least. But we kept power, got to watch a bunch of movies and hang out. Obviously, we didn't practice Friday, which was weird. Saturday, again, needed all the help that we can get of getting out of the driveway. And you saw all the videos of Bills Mafia, helping the players out in order for us to get to the facility and then to the airport, so we can make it to the game. So it was a situation that could have broken the team, I think. But I think, we saw the love and support from Bills Mafia, and guys were extremely appreciative of it.
It was the biggest story in the league. It was massive. And I want to hype all those people. You said Friday night, you're in, the power's flicking on and off. You're watching movies. Is it romantic, Josh?
Oh, it was more scary than anything. Because you have to be prepared, with food and water, and anything could go wrong. Like there's so much snow stacked on top of the roof too. Like at any point the freaking ceiling can cave in. Like it's kind of scary. Like, again, once the power goes out, the AC or the heater goes out. So like you just gotta be ready for anything, ready to adapt. And it's times like that, you wish you had like a snowmobile, or you had your front, driveway heated or something, but it's a learning moment. It was crazy. It was fun, but hopefully we don't have to do that again for a long time.
So we have a picture, and this picture hit the gram. Bring this picture up, guys, because I want to get it. I want to get into your head. So here's you with the gloves and a thumbs up, and it looks like you're trying to shovel to Canada or something. What's going on in this picture?
Yeah, so that's the front driveway. And I'd been in contact with, people from the Bills, whether it was Kelsey or Ryan, all day, in terms of trying to get someone to come shovel or plow the driveway. And mind you, I have a gate that I didn't leave open, so that was completely snowed in. So I had to walk, through 3-4 feet of snow, and I was halfway there, and I sat down. I was like, I might just stay here. Like it might be game over for me.
It's a wrap.
It literally took so much energy out of me to go walk to the front, shovel that out. And when I got actually to the gate, there were some people there, and they were helping us out. They helped me shovel it out. And we got the gate open, and the walk back, the same thing. I took a break about halfway through, and breathing heavy, and again, like, unfortunately, I hadn't been really practicing the last week and a half, 2 weeks. So my body wasn't really used to exerting that much energy in the last 2 weeks. And, I guess it was a good way for me to stay in shape for the game.
It is. Did you feel like Rocky Balboa in Rocky IV?
I felt defeated. I really did. I had to keep pushing through,
Yeah.
We made
All
it.
right. Well, listen, when you're defeated or you feel defeated, you need a hero or a savior. And the United States of America and the world has learned about a man named Squirrel Winter. Squirrel bleepin' Winter. Who is this legend? And please tell us about him.
Yeah. So originally, I thought that the Bills had been in contact with people that they were going to plow our driveway. And, I look out, and all of a sudden I see a tractor coming down, and it's plowing. I see one guy walking, one guy's obviously in the tractor, and I go out there and I kind of help them out. I'm shoveling my garage so I can get the car out. And, there's two guys. There's like, we live nearby. I'm Squirrel. This is Mark. And the Bills actually never contacted them. They were just going around to the neighbors' houses and helping people out. And they just kind of came on to the property and was like, you know what, we're going to help this guy out too. And they didn't, I don't know if they knew, I played for the Bills or not, but, we're very, very thankful for them coming down our driveway.
And it's, as far as I understand, like you grew up, I think they're farmers too, right? Like they're kind of your kin.
Yeah. So he's got Winter's Farm, which is, I think, right down the street from where I'm at right now. And, he's getting a lot of love from Bills Mafia, and it's warranted for sure.
It's like Squirrel Winter saves Christmas. Like he's an American legend. And hope someday, Josh, listen, all things go right. Maybe Squirrel Winter will be at a parade. It's just so cool to hear. They call Buffalo what, the city of friendly neighbors? And those two guys coming over, yeah, I think we'll just take care of this long ass driveway with the gate is so good. There was a lot of stories. Dion Dawkins talked about he couldn't get out. There was a story that McDermott personally picked up Vaughn. When you guys finally get together and you get on the bus and get on the plane, like what was some of the wildest stuff you heard about what guys were going through?
Yeah, Joe Brady got picked up by Bean. There was some guys that literally like their neighbors just came out of the woodworks. They had 5 or 6 snowblowers helping get their driveway clear and shoving their cars out from under the snow. Some guys were walking. There's a place pretty close to the stadium that guys like, all right, I guess I got to walk, and we're picked up by one of our guys named Ryan. So again, it took an extreme amount of effort by a lot of different hands that wouldn't have been involved otherwise. And we really appreciate everybody kind of coming together and allowing us to be able to make it to Detroit and allow us to, as a team, focus on the task at hand. I was trying to win a football game after so much crazy stuff happened.
You seem really proud.
Yeah, I am, again, because that could have been a distraction. It could have been an easy excuse for us, and we didn't let that happen, and I really appreciate our team for going out there and battling the way we did.
I do too. In your post game, it's on camera in the locker room, and you screamed. When you get home, pay those fans some bleeping respect. Get them something nice, man, and treat them well. It was really cool. How do you pay back a community and neighbors and a fan base for something like that?
Well, I think I don't know if I'm at liberty to say exactly what we're gonna do, but we got some gifts. We're gonna make sure that everybody that kind of helped out and had a hand in that's gonna be given their respect, given their flowers, and we're gonna treat them right.
I don't doubt it for a second. That's a tease from Josh Allen. We're not going to talk about it, but it's coming. If you helped out, you will be thanked. I think about it Josh. You're from this California dude, then you play at Wyoming, could have been drafted by any team in the league, got drafted by Buffalo. What effect do you think Buffalo has had on you, as never mind as a player, just as a human being?
Again, the whole reason I wanted to be here, like even before I got drafted or when I took my visit, I was just like, it just reminds me so much of how I was, raised, my hometown and the community that I was involved in. Everybody knows each other here. Everybody, loves football. They care about each other. They love their food. And I honestly couldn't see a better fit for me, of anywhere else in the league. And I'm a low key guy. I don't like to, be in front and center and on the scene. That's fun sometimes, but I just want to hang out and enjoy my teammates. And, that's something I think that we have here in Buffalo. It's extremely special. It's very much a college-like atmosphere in terms of guys in the locker room, hanging out with each other, outside of the facility as well, knowing each other's families. It's something very special that we care very deeply about here.
And it shows. And I and everybody wants you to be a Bill for a long, long, long time. In the off season, or if you're just hanging out, if you're bored, do you ever daydream about, let's say the Bills take you at 7, a few things happen differently. You could have been a Niner or a Cardinal, or like then you're living in Arizona, you're living in the Bay, you could have been anywhere. Did you ever think about what your life and your career would be like if you had gone someplace like that?
Yeah. Honestly, not too often do I think about that. The way I kind of rationalize everything is I'm where I'm supposed to be. There's a plan, and I'm not sure what that plan was or still is, but it's already written, and just enjoying the ride, trying to be the best teammate, person, quarterback that I can be for the Buffalo Bills.
Sometimes from the media perspective or the fan perspective that I speak from both of those perspectives. It just seems like certain players are just where they are supposed to be. They just fit. And you fit in Buffalo. And when you have to go through the snow and go to Detroit so you can play Cleveland and you win, it just feels like the right fit. You go to the game, you win the game. Dude, tell me about the touchdown pass to Diggs in the back of the end
Hmm.
zone, because that one had everything going on.
Yeah, just normal. I think everybody in the world's got that concept, just crosser concept.
Yeah.
And he got open, and I mean, I'm moving to my left a little bit, and when your weight's
Right.
going that way as a quarterback and you're right-handed, you kind of got to get really open to lead your guy. And I didn't really understand. I didn't really like what was going on underneath. There's a guy underneath him, and he was so wide open. I was like, I'm just going to dot him. I'm just going to put it on him. And I threw it, and the ball came out so hot, and my body, my foot kind of got stuck in the turf. I mean, I flipped around. I did a somersault, and I actually saw him catch the ball through my legs as I was kind of upside down. And as soon as I saw him catch the ball, I was like, okay. And then I took my tumble. It didn't look very graceful. It didn't look very athletic, but we got the job done.
So you had this moment, like I remember when we were talking against Kansas City, where you were in the air and you're like, "Oh my God, I'm flying," and then you landed on your butt and you were looking straight at the camera with no facial expression. There was a frozen moment in Ford Field where you're watching Steph catch the touchdown between your big old legs.
There is, yeah.
That's great. That's so you. It worked. It was 6 points.
6 points.
So what would you say on the Josh Allen arm strength scale of 1 to 10? Like, what number was that with that pigskin that you hooked? Was that like a 7?
I'm going at least an 8.5. It was close to
Really?
9. It came out. It came out real warm. It was. I mean, it was on the line, and I'm just glad that Steph was able to haul it in. Those are the ones too that he's so wide open. It's like I can't miss him here. So instead of throwing a little lob ball and allowing someone underneath to come up and try to tip it or something, I'm just gonna put it on his chest.
How often do you break out the 10, the big dog?
Very rarely. I think that
Mm-hmm.
the last throw against the Jets, I let it go. Yeah, not too often. Because again,
Mm-hmm.
if you're throwing it that hard, you probably shouldn't be throwing it there. If the window is that tight, there's got to be someone else open.
Yeah. Look, the best drivers or the best golfers know when to club down. And sometimes you got to go with the 8, and sometimes you got to go with the 3 wood. Sometimes you got to hit the Big Bertha. You hit him right between the numbers. You saw it through your legs. And now, like, it's just the strangest thing. So you go back to Detroit for the second game in 5 days in the same building on the road. Is it weird?
It's definitely different. But we played in MetLife back to back. My second year, I think we played in Arizona. I don't know if we played in Arizona back to back, but we played 2 away games there as well. So
Sure.
it's not something that we're unfamiliar with. Which again, I think that's going to help us out. Again, it's a dome. We're playing on the road. We just feel like now instead of the 8 home games that we were supposed to have, it's now just 7 and 10 road games, which I don't know if that's a league record, 10 away games in one season. But hey, Dorsey always talks about we'll play them in a parking lot. We got to find a way.
Hell yeah, you will. Nothing comes easy. That's not the way it works. The Lions have played home on Thanksgiving since 1934 with only one pause for World War II. I can't remember, and a lot of times in my lifetime, they came into the Thanksgiving game on a 3-game winning streak. Is this a dangerous team?
Absolutely. And they're playing extremely motivated football. They're taking the ball away, on the defensive side. Offensively, it seems like they've got things clicking right now. So yeah, we gotta be prepared. It's gonna take a whole effort for us to be able to win this game. And we gotta have a good week of practice. And again, it seems like we're leaving tomorrow already. It happened quick, but yeah, we gotta be ready. They're gonna be ready.
They are.
Let's go.
You consume so much football. I wonder, did you watch Hard Knocks? And whether you did or not, what are your impressions of Dan Campbell, the head coach of the Lions? Because he's a real one.
Yeah, and there's some guys in our building that have either been with him in the past or been around him, and there's nothing that I've heard bad about the guy. It seems like the players love playing for him. Obviously, he's very passionate about his job, and he seems just like a guy's guy, just a dude. Like I saw his post conference. I think it was after the Green Bay game. Just like I just want a beer. Just want to go home, put my legs up, and have a beer. So, that's something that resonates with the guys too. Like, if you've got a coach that can just be real with you and not with the sugarcoat anything and just going to tell you how it is, I think guys really appreciate that. So I think that's why you're seeing such motivated football from these guys right now, because they got a guy that they feel like they can follow.
Yeah, they do. And even just watching them like you do at home, you're like, oh, that's my kind of guy. I want to have a beer with him. I want to drink that beer with him. In the meantime, another guy people want to have a beer with. So last week, Myles Garrett. Next week, Matthew Judon. And this week, the only player in the entire NFL with 3 sacks and 3 takeaways, a rookie from Michigan named Aiden Hutchinson. You get a load of this guy's game? What do you see?
I mean, I think he's got 2 interceptions in the last 2 games. So not typical from a D lineman to do that unless your name's TJ Watt. So again, you speak highly about these guys because they're playing at a high level, and he's not a rookie anymore. I know it's his first year, but after a certain point in the season, it's like he's played enough where he understands the game to a level, and we got to be ready and prepared for whatever they can do, and whether it's chip help on him or allowing our tackles to be one-on-one with the guy, we got to be ready for it.
One of the sneakiest moves, I think, is down linemen who drop back in coverage. How do you get ready for that? Is that tough as a QB?
Yeah, I mean, again, we call it like a change pressure, right? Where they bring someone from the strong side and they drop the weak side D end, and you're expecting your back to stay in for coverage now because he's got the backer. But you only have now four guys running routes, and they're still dropping 7 in coverage, which it clouds things up. It makes windows smaller and harder to come by. So yeah, when teams do that, it's very tough. Obviously, there's things that we can do as long as we're making the right protection and understanding if we aren't protected, where our answers are. But I think really sticking to our base rules and just not panicking if and when we see that.
Yeah, you'll be ready. I know you will be. You always are. I want to ask you about some AFC East business. So Zach Wilson, the Jets quarterback, is getting hammered in the New York City media. He didn't play well last week, and then more importantly, his media session didn't go well. It didn't take a lot of accountability, and he's getting called out for that a lot. You've always been great about that. Personally yourself, how do you handle meeting the media or talking to the media after maybe you didn't play your best football?
Well, I mean, I think I've had a little bit more experience with that, and going from where I was in high school to Laramie, Wyoming. I mean, I had 2 or 3 reporters asking questions, not the hundreds that are asking especially the New York media. But again, I just try to be real. I don't try to let my emotions affect my answers too much. But again, I expect so much out of myself that when things go wrong, I feel like I could have done something differently. And I think that's really all it is. I just try to be as open and apparent as possible. And if there's something I did wrong in the game, I'm gonna say it, because again, I'm not gonna lie to myself. I'm gonna be accountable in that aspect as well.
You said it yourself, and it is true. It's really tough to win when your quarterback plays like bleep, and I know a lot of people heard that, and a lot of people respected it. You've always done really, really well at that. I don't care how many reporters you had in Laramie. Josh, let's wrap this up. We have 2 pieces of business here. By some miracle or coincidence, last time you and I talked about movies, we decided that you would watch an 80s movie that is about difficulty traveling and the conditions that come up in traveling. And that was before the snow fell. 1987's Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. There couldn't be a better week in your life that you could watch it for the Josh Allen Film Festival. Tell us your thoughts of the movie, because you kind of lived the movie.
Yeah, it was, like you said, it just happened to be the perfect week of my life. I love the movie, and I didn't realize there's a few moments in that movie that were replicated in Family Guy and Ted. Like Family Guy, when he says, you want to attack me? I'm an easy target. Yeah, I talk too much. I also listen too much, but my wife loves me. I love him. That's in Family Guy, and I've heard that before, and I never knew what movie that was in. Then obviously doing the mess around when he's driving the car and he's smoking and he's just swerving all over the road. That's in Ted 2. And again, just a callback that I never got the reference for, but man, it was awesome. And then it's just, it's kind of a bromance movie. He hates him at the beginning, and he's, you know what, this guy's going through a lot too. And then takes him in for Thanksgiving dinner. And it was a solid movie. I'm gonna give it a solid B+. Like, I thought it was entertaining, it was funny, and I think, again, just the callbacks of things that I've seen and I never understood or understood the reference to this movie. So now that I have that deeper understanding, I think it makes that much more sense, and that's why it's a B+.
And that's why we do this. And I love that you bring them together like this. I'm going to blow your mind here too. And when we called out this movie, millions of Bills fans were sending us messages that the mess around scene that you're driving the wrong way was shot on the 219 between Buffalo and Springville. Like, it's the whole movie is in Western New York. That's your hood.
Okay. I did not know that. Now
yeah.
That's awesome.
All right.
I forget. I love the movie. I did. All right. You got it. Sounds like a plan to me.
All right, so quickly, let's pick a movie for next week. Bring up the image. Josh, I have two choices for you. I have Beetlejuice and Major League. Beetlejuice, this couple dies and all kinds of crazy stuff happens in the afterlife. And then Major League is about what used to be called the Cleveland Indians and an incredible run that they go on. Which do you want to watch, Beetlejuice or Major League?
Let's go with Major League. I know that's Charlie Sheen. I've never actually watched that movie. I've heard a lot about it. So let's go with that one.
It's killer. Major League, you'll love it. It's
an
R-rated
That was a quick
comedy.
graphic. That was a quick graphic.
Dude, they're getting sharp here. We're week 12?
Yeah.
Quick.
That was impressive.
Thank you. The credit to all the people here. Josh, before you go, look at this. I got this bag here, and it's got sauce in it with your picture on it, and it's got seasoning with your picture on it. And I'm going to read some copy here. That's an industry term, reading copy. One last thing before you go, Josh. We're offering one fan the chance to appear on the show with you and me, this show sometime in December. They have to purchase any Bills Mafia sauce or rubs at Wegmans with their Shoppers Club membership, or post a photo on social in front of the product displays in the store with the hashtag BillsSweeps. BillsSweeps. And Josh, you're always really good at this part. Remind us who the proceeds benefit for this wonderful thing we're doing around the holidays.
They benefit the Oshai Children's Hospital and the kids and the families there, the Patricia Allen Fund. So obviously it's a great cause, and it goes to the right people that are in absolute dire need of it. So yeah, please go out and buy the sauce, eat, enjoy the sauce and the rubs, and we'll see you on the basement with me and Kyle.
Yeah, you come in the basement with Josh and me. We'll talk movies. We'll talk gravy. We'll talk all kinds of fun stuff. Dude, I know you've had a really busy week.
We'll let you pick the next movie as well.
Okay. Josh says you can pick any movie you want for the film festival. Any movie, as long as it comes out before 96 when he was born. I know you have suggestions. Get some sauce. Get some rub. This is our guy number 17 in a very busy week. Josh, I hope you win the game. I hope you eat a turkey leg on the field for the second year in a row. And then I hope you get some gravy afterwards. You have earned it, dude.
Appreciate you, Kyle. Thank you so much.
Happy Thanksgiving, bud. That's our guy. Lots to unpack there, as there always is. But he will be going to Detroit again to play those pesky Detroit Lions. And we'll talk to Josh again next week. What's a little nuts is that Josh has the Patriots next week, also on Thursday. So both the Patriots and the Bills go Thursday to Thursday, and then we'll get the train back on the tracks on the Sunday games as we head towards the postseason. But that's it. It's time to throw a dart. Let's go to the Skycam and the show the same way each and every day. I got the British version of the dart here. Whatever number I hit, there's a corresponding topic that I have to just ad-lib about. And that is an 8. What is topic number 8? I've not seen any of these. We bring them up and it says, rank the seasons. Are we talking seasons of Party of Five? Seasons of Grey's Anatomy? No, I think you're probably talking about the 4 seasons as they pertain to the calendar and pertain to weather. All right. Well, it's an opportune time to ask that question. It's probably why it was produced that way, because we're just clinging on to the last vestiges of fall or autumn, and it's getting cold as hell here. So I'll rank the seasons as I see them. At number 4, I think the worst season is spring. I don't like spring that much. It's mostly crappy weather with this like little optimism about, oh, the flowers are coming. You don't really hit the fun holidays there. It's like it's not hell anymore, but it's still not summer where the real fun starts. You're still in school. Spring is fourth. I'm gonna go winter is third. Depending on where you live, where I live, it's really bleeping cold. It's freezing. Like it gets below zero. It gets that just miserable January, February where it's just gray, and there's a form of precipitation called wintry mix, which is just like a Long Island iced tea of rain and crap. So that winter's third. Despite, winter's lot to like. There's great football and sports and holidays and all that. And then summer's going to come in second. In fact, you know what? Screw that. Fall's going to come in second. Fall has so many advocates, and I'm certainly one of them. But I think fall's getting a little too big for its britches. Everybody just wants to point out how great it is in this jacket weather and pumpkin spice lattes and football starts. That's all great. I like summer. I like being off work. I like being off school. I like wearing flip-flops. I like drinking a lot outside and eating a lot outside. You can't do that for most of fall. I don't really care that there's not great sports and it's only baseball. Don't care. I used to like summer blockbuster movies. And I just think I have, 20-some years of being built up of not being in school for summer. So I think summer gets a bad rap because it's too hot or some crap like that. Summer's the number one season. So 4 is spring, 3 is winter, 2 is fall, and in an upset that I don't apologize for, summer, your number one season. Guys, you're my number one favorite people. I love you. Thank you from the basement on a Josh Allen Tuesday. We will see you tomorrow. We will see you next week. We'll see you next month. Thank you for joining us. See you tomorrow.